go ahead and you can continue or whatever you want. Go ahead.
Okay.
You're saying like the abused people and what have you and such.
Right.
So
for me in my life, I haven't been affected directly by somebody sexually assaulting me.
Right.
And I haven't sexually assaulted somebody to my awareness.
That's
now,
good.
as I go back and I look at my life and the way I've actually, what were my motives when I'm engaging with somebody, and I'm realizing as I open my heart and I'm more empathetic and I'm hearing stories that, hey, there were areas of my life where my motive was incorrect. It was selfish. What can I get out of this?
Right.
Even though there may have been blurred areas and there was agreement in a sense, or maybe not full consent.
Right.
I'm seeing now, hey, look, there's things that I need to reconcile about my past and the way I continue to move forward.
Agreed.
And so something like the Solidarity Wall is helping me step into that space where I can open my heart and say, hey, look, there's some things that I need to make adjustments with going forward.
Yeah.
And for myself, even being married 6 years or 16 years, it's just like looking back, what about in my marriage?
Right.
What does sexual assault look like within my marriage? Or using coercion or force within my marriage? Where there's like, hey, look, it's just an expectation I have, but should it be because I want something? Yeah. Should it be something that, we both move into and not just be like, hey, this is how things should be?
Yeah.
And have, so it's
really acting in love.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
Does my love prefer the other, or does my love just make me feel good? And I think that's at the crux of humanity.
Yeah, because if you think people might not be in their right mind, they could be consenting, but with a non-mind. It's the same as a child or something like that.
Right.
Someone could have a mind of a child because we aren't being trained to be adults as we ought to, as we used to, in my mind.
Right.
And so we make a lot of decisions, and even though it might be consenting, it's extremely destructive to you long term. So
the ripple effects.
The domino, butterfly, all that. It's dangerous. So no, I'm agreeing with. You look back at your past and realize. I remember a pastor gave that same testimony. It's easier if I say him, and then he's just saying, that I had, hung out with women without the pretense of saying I know that this is going somewhere, and giving her that thought because they think that that's what it means. We know it doesn't mean that, but they don't know that because they don't speak man. You know what I mean? Right. And so he apologized to the lady. Says, what I did was wrong. I want you to know that was wrong. Right. I should not be engaging unless I'm for real. You know what I mean? So I'm agree. I don't know what is it, just because you had seen hurt people from it and that's why you wanted to activate, or is it because of your faith?
It's a little bit of both. I think it's more so probably coming from a long life of substances, and with substances come a lot of relational violations.
Oh, okay.
During that time frame, I've been married 16 years, been sober for 7 years.
Oh, okay.
And so a lot of that time frame there was relational violation. even to the point of verbal abuse, physical abuse, and infidelity. But it went beyond the infidelity. It went unfaithfulness, the physical infidelity. It went to the unfaithfulness of the heart. And what does that look like?
Yeah.
And so kind of coming out of the unfaithfulness physically, you're looking at the deeper side and, God convicting me and basically moving into this place. So it's like, no, it's not just this.
Yeah.
I remember my in-laws once said, it's okay to touch, it's okay to look, but not to touch. And I was thinking about that, like coming out of that, I'm like, wait a minute.
Because if you're looking, you're touching.
Like, wait a minute.
Even a phone call could jack you up. So no, I don't agree.
And the heart can lead you if you entertain different thoughts or different feelings.
Sure.
And it could lead into the touch. Yeah. And then you've already, because it is a condition of the heart.
Because he said you look with lust, you've already gone there in your heart. God cares about the matters of the heart. So no, but I'm agreeing with you. What's your name again? Edgar, Robbie. And it's like. As the Lord has taken me through a lot of heavy weather to burn Robbie out of me and put more of the Lord in me so I can see from a bird's eye view that actually matters, is to realize all the pieces fit together. And so one thing that seems like it doesn't matter, it does hit someone else. Maybe you don't see it, but it does. And it might be influencing someone in a mindset that could be influencing them for the wrong too. So it matters how the appearance of evil and everything else. So I'm in agreement, Edgar. And so when you're hurting people, even people like some people who are street preachers, they just want to get to the point very quickly, but they don't realize that in order to survive the pain, they have to get all, you know what I mean? They have to survive. And so they're not ready to hear stage 12, you know what I mean?
Right.
They need to know that what happened was wrong, that it wasn't their fault and everything else. So maybe you've dealt with that, I don't know.
Yeah.
So what have you wrote a letter to the survivors?
I kind of wait and take in the week.
Oh.
Last year was kind of that way where it's just like just taking in the week.
Okay.
And really just allowing it to permeate.
Yeah.
Not speaking from reaction or just wanting to really, that's kind of just opening my heart to God through this process. You know, we want to have that every day of your life being open to the leading, but specifically because of this, there's a little bit more of this urgency in this area, and just having the ability to really step into a culture, not having any idea what to, I mean, it's just silence, like, just shut up, Edgar. You know, there's not anything you could say or do. And just to experience and allow the transformation that God wants for me to happen, as well as just standing in solidarity. And that's what the project is all about, just saying, hey, we're with you, good, bad, and ugly, and all this messed up stuff, and that's wrong, and we don't stand for it.
Yeah, I'm agreeing. I think that sometimes our mouths being closed could do a lot more work. With what as long as they know that you care, that helps God speak to them more. So, yeah, man.
Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, have a good week. Are you going to be here all week?
We're going to be here through Thursday. We'll take it down on Friday.
Yeah.
So it's just on the other side of Lillis Complex, right in the mall there.
Oh, yeah. This is my second time here ever, so I'm not very familiar. We were lucky to find an open-air place.
Lillis Complex. So there's this main road here. If you go all the way across, that turns into 13th over there off of, I don't know what is that. But basically, it's 2 blocks from the actual exit of campus, but on this strip right here.
There we go.
And what's the ministry's name? Or?
Well, it's called the Solidarity Project. The umbrella ministry is Arise, which is it's basically it's a Light Bearers and Arise ministry, which is Arise is a 13-week discipleship school that's out of Jasper.
Okay.
And then Light Bearers is a publication, like a publishing ministry. This in itself, I mean, even though we're a religious organization, we don't really touch too much on that. Just allow the standing to be the standing. Empathizing, just being there. So
pretty good. Is it attached to a main group, like a main denomination or a main?
Seventh-day Adventist, followers of Jesus.
I was just going to mention them because they also do the vegetarian cooking courses that help people who want to go there and healthy eating and what have you. And some people in this group are Seventh-day. Oh, wow. So, doctrinal differences, because we're Seventh-day Pentecostals.
Oh, cool. That's awesome.
I don't know what if you ever pray in more than English, but that might be one of the differences.
It is. You know, it was interesting. I was thinking, we were reading through, I think it was 1 Corinthians 2 or 3, where it talks about, you know, lift Christ and Christ crucified up. I think in 3 it talks about to preach Christ as the foundation, and then on top of Christ, we build these different things, whether it's, you know, gold or silver or precious jewels, or it's hay, stubble, these different things. And I think the reality of some of these differences that we have, you know, I think in our desire to seek for truth, whatever that is, and it's just the experience that God is looking to give us. You know, I think that God is saying, look, we may have some differences, but if your foundation is Jesus, you're saved. But we're going to go through some difficult times. And when we do go through difficult times, if there's some error in what's going on, it's going to affect your experience. Because the truth will lead you to the full trust and the rest in Jesus. And things that are in error, we're going to be putting our trust in something that is going to fall. And so that's really where it's at.
Were you raised Seventh-day?
I was. But I mean, I left the church and came back in and was just like, hey, let me learn these things intellectually for myself versus family and tradition passing things on. And even then, it was more of an intellectual assent versus a personal relationship with Jesus, which this past 3 years has been.
More to get close to Jesus, whatever.
Yeah, the person of Jesus versus the facts.
So, is there anything in there that you don't agree with?
As far as within Adventism?
The some of the differences, the differential doctrines. Are you hold to them?
I think I'm open. I think I'm open to truth. I mean, if you look at the Protestant Reformation, you had a long time where you had Dark Ages where the Bible wasn't available, and you come out of the Dark Ages and now you have a Bible and you can study for yourself. And, you know, there was studying going on, and we pitch our tent and say, this is it, no more, we've made it. And then out of each of these Protestant groups comes new truth and new understanding. And so I'm open. I'm saying if there's a group of people that follow Christ in a way that the Bible says to, then that's where I want to be.
Yeah, it's like sometimes you see things and it makes you want to just stay away from everything, and other times you see something, then you can see that you only want to preserve something. You can see like another mindset that seems like it's missing something that you know is vital. You know what I'm saying? But But there are some that are different that doesn't rub me that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like some people say I'm closer to a Baptist, but for some reason I rather be around people who really believe in that they're responsible for their own life. You know what I mean? They can't just say, okay, God forgives me and that's all good in the end. I don't believe that. So that's why sometimes people like you might be different in certain ways. It might end up being better overall. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, we got a few brothers in here that are on that team that we all love. You know, really nice, really good people. But yeah, we're going to go into open mode, and then we'll see if we can spread some love in there too. Another angle, the direct way.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
Awesome, guys. Nice meeting you.
Have a good day, bro.